Hey, football fans, this is Gary Greene, longtime sports handicapper and professional sports bettor here in Vegas for the past 35 years. And this year, Gary Wins videos, and this is the first of four NFL Divisional Round games. This game on Saturday, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. This is the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs installed a 8.5-point favorite, the total 41.5. Kickoff temperature is expected to be in the mid-20s and very possibly going to be really windy on Saturday early evening in Kansas City. Team total numbers, Kansas City's 25.5 and the Houston Texans is 16.5. For the Texans, could possibly be without their top running back Mixon. That would be a huge blow. For Kansas City, they will get back cornerback Watson. He's returning from injured reserve, and I don't expect him to play a lot, but anything you can add to the defense is always good. This is a Houston team that's been 5-4 on the road this year, and they're going to try to knock off Kansas City and be the first team to beat them at Arrowhead this year. We all know what Kansas City's done in the past, and this is a team that's always tough to knock out. They are playoff ready caliber and tested and well coached. But this, I think, is going to be their hardest trip here to make it to the Super Bowl this year. 5 years ago, these two teams met. Kansas City won 51-31, but that was after Kansas City fell behind 24-0, and that was the game to me that changed the outcome of the Kansas City Chiefs since, because that showed them that they could play. They can come back and fall behind on against anybody and come back and beat them soundly. And one negative for Kansas City here is when they do finally kick off on Saturday, it would have been 24 days since the starters played the last time that they took snaps. So could be some very serious rust there on a cold Saturday in Kansas City. These two teams met up a few days before Christmas. Kansas City won that game 27-19. That was actually when they were playing their third game, both of them in an 11-day span. So tough to use that game as any type of gauge. But Kansas City's 0-5 straight up in this game. Chance to get to the championship game in the AFC. So, of course, they're looking to knock that 0 off and put a 1 there. For some big-time stats here, though, you'd never suspect that Kansas City would have finished a regular season in the bottom half of the offensive rankings. And that's where they are. They're number 17 in the AFC. They only have 327 total yard per game average. A lot of games they struggle this year. People say they're the worst 15-2 team of all time, and I believe it, but that's because the offense just never clicked. In the beginning of the year, there was no Kelce going good. Then Kelce became the leading receiver, and Xavier Worthy drops a lot of balls. He's fast. He's made some big plays, but to put this in perspective, folks, the Baltimore Ravens averaged just a couple yards shy of 100 total yards per game more than the Kansas City's vaunted Chiefs offense. The Texans will be a very formidable defense against this offense that has never really clicked all year. They're number 5 in the NFL, and they allow only 315 total yards. So if they can hold Kansas City just to their average of 327, they have a very good opportunity to steal a win here. They give up 201 passing, 114 rushing. For Kansas City, the problem with the offense has really been the offensive line. They just never had a good offensive line the entire year. The quarterbacks for Kansas City have been sacked 40 times. Mahomes, a lot of times penalties, going behind the chains and then getting sacked. He hasn't been as miraculous as he's been in years past, and that's due to this offensive line just being so bad. They played a lot of musical chairs. I don't really go into this game trusting that offensive line against a defensive Kansas City. Two guys, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. These two guys are sack monsters, and they put a tremendous amount of pressure when the offense is clicking even decently for Houston and the Texans, and they've gotten a lead. This defense has been really tough to score against. So when we look at Patrick Mahomes, he's only averaging 6.8 yards per pass. He's only got 26 touchdowns the entire year and 11 interceptions. And the run game just never there because the offensive line's been bad all year, but just 4 yards per carry. And that's not something that you would expect to see. Kansas City, again, their leading receiver being Kelce with 823 total yards. Can the Texans just slow him down and force him to get it to the other receivers who haven't really come up big? Interesting to see. But Kansas City's defense is pretty good too. 39 sacks, 13 interceptions. They made a lot of big plays when they had to. Boy, this team has been fortunate. Got a lucky charm on their shoulder. A lot of people say they have a lucky ref on their shoulder too. But as far as the offense goes for Houston, the good news is that they controlled their last game, the playoff game. 34 and a half minutes the offense was on the field. Got a chance to get some rust off and get some momentum going into this game. So the defense was only on the field for barely 25 and a half minutes. So they should be okay coming into this game. That's a big deal. As far as the Kansas City offensive line, again, not being good, the reason that the offensive scoring is down is because of that. Because when you look at this scoring that Kansas City has done at home this year, 29, 27, 21, 19, 19, 30, 21, and 14. 5 of the 8 games, they've scored 21 points or less, so 3 touchdowns or less at home, a place that they used to light up the scoreboard. And again, 49 total sacks for this Houston defense. The defense has put tremendous pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, one of the best rushing sack teams in the league. Can they hold Patrick Mahomes down? That's going to be the question. If they can they keep it close late and maybe be able to steal the game late? I think there's a possibility of it. Again, the home games for Kansas City this year, they won by 8, 2, 2, 2, 6, 13, 1, and 7. The line here is 8.5. So they've covered this line this entire season at home one time, and that was on a late score that got him up to 13 points. So it's been a very big struggle all year long. We know what Andy Reid can do, though, with 2 weeks to prepare for a game. This guy is the best all time. This guy is unbelievable. Throwing a package in there, time to prepare, expect to see some wrinkles. I would expect that the Texans will go for it a little bit more than they normally do in this game, taking a chance. Washington did it last week. It paid off. I think that when you're the underdog, you have to take chances. We saw Pittsburgh just be absolutely insane, punting the ball on 4th and half a yard, a couple of times. I know you're in the 40 to 35 range, but come on, you got to take a chance here. Houston, again, they're playing with house money right now. In Kansas City, we're going to learn a lot about this team, but nothing about this team. I would even expect that Kansas City could be a little rusty early. 25.5 total points for a team total was a high number. But again, you bet at your own risk when you go against Super Bowl champs, because they have won Super Bowls because these games come easy to them. There's no pressure to them. They don't feel it, where a lot of other teams do. And you have a young quarterback still with Stroud, who's still looking for that first really big win. And we'll see what happens. But should be a cold, windy affair to kick off these 4 NFC Divisional playoff games. Make sure to check back our other videos. We will do a full preview on all 3 of the games. And hope you have a great weekend. And may all your wagers be winning ones. God bless and have a good one.